Okay, so this video marks the first video in a short series where we improve my video portfolio. As most of you don't know, I was off island the last few weeks. Well, by the time I'm shooting this, I've already been back for like a month. So yeah, I was just out having a visit with family. And while I was there, I decided to take the chance at having my portfolio critiqued, and you'll see who when we cut to that footage. And you know, like I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of make like a little learning experience out of it, so I can keep it as like a journal where I can look back at it and see the ways I improved and like my thought process and all of it. And you know, if anyone's watching this, then they can kind of see it as like things to take from it, like what not to do and what to do. So it's kind of beneficial both ways. Okay, let me explain real quick the little series we're gonna have. So this will be the first part where we kind of just look through the before, talk about shit that's wrong, and go from there. So the second will definitely be like the after, where we kind of just show what we worked on, the finished product in all its fucking glory. So I'll be talking about what I did, why I did it, show it off, and hopefully we kind of talk about what we learned at the end of the day. It'll be a fun project for everyone involved, but I'll be doing all the work, kind of like all the other group projects I've been in. Too real. So I guess we'll just cut to the footage of me getting roasted and praised, mostly roasted. Okay, what's up guys? Today I'm here with my older brother, and we're gonna be taking a look at my portfolio, and he's gonna give me some critique and tips, and there's probably gonna be some roasting, but
lots of roasting.
Also learning, so hopefully we can make something out of this, and I can look back on this and make it better. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself and what he does.
All right, so I'm his older brother. I'm Paul, also known as PCAP. I'm a design director at a creative agency right now. So I mostly focus on branding, a lot of UI, UX product work, digital and print. So excited to see what you got going on here.
I'm nervous a little bit. Are you allowed to say the name or no? Like your agency?
Oh, Basic Agency. I work for Basic.
Wait, you can't say clients, right?
No,
okay.
Can't say clients.
Yeah, but he does cool shit, so.
All right.
Okay, I'll pop it up.
Go in there. First thing that I noticed, we could tighten up the typography here a little bit.
On the
I think
landing,
like
or everything?
just all over, typography needs a little bit more like love.
What do you mean by tighten it?
Get it a little bit more polished and refined, like focus on the details of it. Like,
yeah.
For example, this one centered, like we could create a little bit more interest, or you know, create like the golden rule where you have some on the left, some on the right, like center type to me is kind of like lazy and boring. It's just like a typical template. So
yeah,
anything you can do to start from here and then push it out, and then maybe figure out a way to create interest. I do like a moving background. It's very interesting. Mm-hmm. I wonder what it is.
I think if you scroll down, it'll show.
I know. I'm just like judging from
okay.
First impression. So like, this is your literal first impression from everybody seeing your website. So like, yeah. What is your hook? What is the clincher? What is it going to be like? Oh, I want to scroll more. Right now, I think also copy could help. Mm-hmm. Like, envision, create, repeat. You know, you could like have edits on this copy, like what is gonna entice people. Maybe it's just a visual graphic. Maybe you don't need copy. Maybe it's just like something.
Like a visual.
I think your header is a little too chunky.
So slim it up.
Slim it down. Slim it. Like you need to think of like a logo that's like that could scale to smaller.
Yeah.
It works in this size, but like imagine if you slim it down or like it goes smaller. That's how you do a logo test.
Yeah.
If it can work really small.
So beyond just black and white, you guys think of scalability?
I think like the shadow works in a big scale, but it does not work in a smaller scale. So you could still keep this, but like what's a version when it goes smaller?
So should I just make a different version of this for smaller size, or just make a new one that kind of works in all sizes?
I would recommend a new one that works with all sizes, like that's a little bit more consistent.
Yeah.
But another route in branding world, you could do like multiple versions that are still kind of like in the same family, but like related. You can reduce the amount of links here.
Yeah.
Maybe your home is your work. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'll
click home.
sticky that because
You know
if you
what I
scroll
mean?
down, it's kind of redundant.
Yeah. So maybe you remove home and it's just like work, and then you do like services.
Right.
Your thumbnail
Yeah.
needs to be a interesting click.
Yeah.
When it says semi-cinematic, I didn't know what that would be, so I didn't want to click it. So like maybe there's, again, learning from the industry, moving image, like is always a good hook. Even doing that animation of that intro loop could be more interesting than just like a
static.
Yeah.
Okay. Every time I look at a reel and it's been more than a few weeks, I'm just like, I could do better now.
Hey, I'm in your reel. Cool. I like your reel. Okay, wait, let me start with the positive.
Yeah, we'll do pros and cons.
Your musicality is great. I love that it like syncopates with the beat and transitions.
Vocabulary.
I think some shots there could be replaced with a little bit more interesting shots. Like just pick the really, really like highlights of your work. The other thing is like, I can see your branding presence here. Like those transitions of like the TV static and like the 3-color of like the CMYK offset.
Yeah.
I think that's your branding, and you need to do it up more. This is the thing about branding. You have your own branding, and underneath your branding is every other project, right? They have their own branding. So how do you like create a case for all of it? So it doesn't feel like, you know, your branding is the one that's like the thread of it. So like it needs to appear in moments here and there.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a bookshelf, right? The projects are like the books, and then I'm the shelf.
So you need to thread it through.
Okay.
I saw some in there. Again, I think study up on typography, because that will help you look a little bit more cleaner and professional. Like the ending of that.
Yeah, that was
like just maybe it could be a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter. Pick the right classic type. Those are tried and true. Like Helvetica is always going to be here, but the way you treat it, I know you can think of other type, but like the classic one works because typographers actually took the time to figure out the angle, the curvature, the spacing of it. So like that's why in graphic design school they always tell us like these are your core foundational ones, like treat them as that, and then you supplement that with like other new typography to keep it more modern, right? Okay, projects.
Yeah, I was gonna get rid of this. It's kind of redundant with the work page, so
yeah,
these were just like the more prominent things.
So be consistent with your labeling.
Yeah. Projects,
work, whatever it is, do it on the headline, so people are not confused. This is another page. That's a UX feedback.
Yeah.
I like these that are like big. See, again, you have these like imagery.
Yeah.
These are cool.
So it's more clickable because it's like, oh, it's okay.
Here's another thing. Again, when I talk about branding, maybe the thumbnails have an influence of your branding in here.
Okay.
So it still looks consistent in your page, but when they click it, it's like
its own thing.
It's its own thing.
But it's all on my site.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah. Whether it's like you add, you know, a small detail here, everything has it.
Yeah.
Or like you add like the title the same way, everything has it.
Like I could do like a little color distortion or something in the corner.
Yeah, something like that. You always have to introduce your branding cohesively with this.
Okay.
The color block, it's too contrasty, so I would make it a bigger headline or whatever. Like.
So should I slim this area?
Maybe you just do black.
Well, I think I'm just gonna get rid of this and have them land on the
I know, but like when you're doing blocking like that, it's so abrupt. Like keep it to like a minimal of change, whether it's like a lighter gray or whatever. Again, this is just like looks like standard. Like you just typed it.
Yeah. So
put a little bit more love there. Tighten it up. Be a little bit more detailed on font choices, sizing, contrast.
Yeah.
Those are key to type. Instagram, these are these
Yeah, just
select.
go to Instagram. No, it just shows the feed.
Oh, okay. I would probably reduce them,
The size.
the size of them, like in terms of grid.
Yeah.
So like this takes more focus than this. The way you keep people's interest is like variety and kind of like pattern. Here, I would make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe it's the copy, right? What's your brand's voice? Is it, you know, confident? Is it like smart? Is it witty? Like think about those things and
Yeah.
inject it here. Like for example, when I have my contact page, instead of like, mine's gonna be like, drop me a line. There's ways to include different language.
Yeah.
Instead of just like a templated, like send me, you know what I mean? So think about that.
So these are just thumbnails and it goes off to Vimeo and another window
So
or tab.
if you get rid of this, again, censor type, and then this blocking thing, it could be a lot cleaner when there's less of a block. Because like, if you look at this, you have a block headline and then your gallery is blocked. Very beginner graphic design feel. You wanna feel sophisticated. So the way you feel sophisticated is like when you think of care in your division. Clients, what are these? Like reels?
No,
Or videos?
this one's a reel, but the rest are just like project videos.
I would just like put a logo buffet or some, like your clients have like
the logo wall.
yeah, because like this could be part of your work.
Yeah.
I think since you only have like 2, I wouldn't even create separations of them individually.
So the whole
label
page is
them.
like work.
Yeah, it'll look cool if you have more than 2. So this is almost like, these are all my works and this is like a snapshot of who I worked with.
Yeah. Okay.
Services. I think you could combine about and services together. So like you have the about section and then services. Like they're kind of telling the same story. And then these are 2 of the same thing.
So it's redundant.
So you don't need, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, when you think about this as a footer, think of it working for all pages. Overall, I think you need to push like your branding. You have all the elements, just like iterate on them. Like think about what is your typography, what is your voice and tone. And you have all these like graphic elements, which is like the glitches, the offsetting, those are like graphic elements. Those are part of your design toolkit. Maybe you just simplify like your type. Use a really cool type, and then there's ways you can make it interesting when you animate it. It could do this, and then there's ways that it could just be like, what's a static version versus an animated version of that. So now let's talk about user experience. So I think your work is your home. Combine that, combine services and about, and you will have 4 links, which is like work, about, blog, contact. Once they land here, they go to adjustncomputer.com, they see your reel, what you're all about, and then they scroll under, it's like your gallery of your individual works.
Yeah.
So the way it's structured is like you give them a high overview, and then scroll down, you get a detailed view of each of those, what's inside your reel.
So it's like getting a sampler, and then they can go down for the
Yeah,
specific
if they're
parts.
like, oh, I like that part that I saw, and then like they can click further. And then I would even put your Instagram thing in the bottom of your about too.
Okay.
Because that's kind of like personal, and it gets a little bit more flavor of who you are. Yeah, that's my feedback for you.
Yeah, so I guess for now, I kind of just want to make it to where it's easy for potential clients or agencies to be like, okay, this is you, this is what you can do, and how proficient you are at it. But I guess in the future, I want to grow to where they hire me for my style.
Yeah, and that's where you start with your branding. Like, no one's gonna hire off the bat for your branding until you kind of, that's why you seed it in your portfolio.
So it's like, yeah, it's like a step to establish it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's close out. Thanks again, bro, for the feedback. Very valuable.
Don't post this online.
Who knows, maybe we'll do a Zoom call and have him talk about the new one. Well, yeah, thanks again, bigger brother.
Okay,
That's his contact on your phone. Yeah, Clear Brand's big, bro.
Oh. I was like, what?
Okay. Tune in next time.
Bye.
So tune in for part 2, where I show the process, and yeah, I show the process. And hopefully those next 2 videos don't take too long. because I do plan on making other videos in the meantime, whether it be for the other channel or like just creative practice. Cut.
Welcome to Adjustn's YouTube. Just kidding.